Vanakkam, Namaskaram, good evening friends. Shyam, thank you first of all for inviting me and sharing an early version of this wonderful book. I learnt a lot from this and I use it as a framework and a handbook that is actually very useful for every founder, investor, angel investor as well. It's a privilege to speak alongside eminent leaders from the IIT Madras and its ecosystem who are the true alchemists of our startup landscape. Mr. Natarajan, thank you very much for setting the tone. Your stewardship of IIT Madras Research Park, your building of the industry academia corridor, and your practical insight on innovation and are powering founders in very meaningful ways. I think one of the key point that he mentioned is that we are all going to be entrepreneurs in one way or another. It's going to be a very interesting intrapreneurship or entrepreneurship, whichever career path that you are taking. It's very important for us to remember where the future is going. And under the leadership of Dr. Kamakodi, IIT Madras has built a formidable pipeline of deep tech ventures, a model of research to market scale that the whole country can learn from. Thank you, sir, very much for that. I've been asked to actually talk about my thoughts on investing and scaling startups. Having invested in more than 120 startups, I can actually say that there are a few things that we learn over a period of time, and every investment opportunity we feel very privileged to be associated with the founder, and we feel humbled to learn from the founder because their perspective are quite interesting. So I will keep this very crisp and short, like a good MVP. The investor, as an investor, I actually think about the 5 T's as a framework. The framework that I actually use are the thought, team, technology, traction, and TAM. The first thing is the thought. The key is the idea that makes you say, wow, why didn't I think of this before? That's the spark from the entrepreneur that actually comes, which Shyam mentioned in his initial speech. But once you actually come up with that, it's not enough to have a thought, but you need to take it into an action. And there are a lot of steps that are involved which are actually articulated very clearly. And execution is what separates success from the slide decks. You see, this is emphasis on problem, solution clarity, and early validation in this book. As Thirukkural says, enni thuniga karmam, thuninda pin envam enbadu ilukku. The second T is the team. The team turns this thought into reality. The founding team ideally should actually have complementary skills. They should have known each other for a long time, and university, college, colleagues from the work are very good founding material, because if you want to actually have complementary skills and you want to have trust between them, it's very important to you build the chemistry. And we believe that if the chemistry is actually there, the math can be made to work. The third T I actually also look at is technology. Today it's very difficult to separate technology from a business model. Technology is a necessity, not a luxury. It is not only helpful to unlock the potential of the business model, it also helps the company grow without increasing the headcount as it grows. It unlocks something, we call it as a non-linear scale. In this book, you will find practical nudges for non-tech founders to adopt modern tools. And that's very important for everyone to understand that technology is not something that is very difficult, but it is management of technology what is very important for the entrepreneur. The next one is the traction. Traction is a validation, not a vanity. Look for real users, repeat behaviors, retention, and unit economics. The one line I share with the founders are, profit is sanity, but also look for the cash flow. The cash flow is very important. You look at what is called as a CAC, or the customer acquisition cost, and the long-term value of a customer, the burn rate and the runway. Know when the business model will turn profitable, and there are certain phrases that you would actually learn from this book which are very important for every entrepreneur and to be entrepreneur to know. And the TAM is the total addressable market, but what is more important, as Sam says, is start with SOM, not the whole TAM. It looks like a mantra, TOM, SAM, SOM, and that's actually it is because if you have the right kind of attitude, you would actually start with the serviceable addressable market, and of course the TAM gives you the motivation to know what you should aspire for. As Valluvar would say, Vellathaniyadu Malarneetam Mandardam Ullathaniyadu Uyarvu. So the depth of clarity, conviction, which was actually mentioned in the initial opening by Shyam, quite is very important, and it determines the altitude and scale. Now, having said this 5T as a framework for the investment side, how do we actually decide on the scale? Just to make it easy to remember, remember this 5 P's. The 5 P's are the product market fit, which Shyam stresses: start small and focused, validate with niche. For example, start with a small area, start with one use case before you actually embark on actually starting in a very big way. And I think the more important thing is actually to make sure that you have the right people. So that's the next P. So main important thing is the founder mindset, awareness, resilience, and humility to learn sets a culture that sustains pace, not just celebrates the peak. Your best growth hack is often a great leader in the crucial seat. Next is the process. Standardize so wins become repeatable yet flexible to innovate. It is very important for you to know that a good framework gives teams the freedom to create with clear guardrails. Shyam's shots, which you actually see at the end of every chapter, is amazing. I really enjoyed it, Shyam. Thank you for that. It repeatedly emphasizes checklists, short feedback loops, and learning from small pilots. The next one is the pipeline. You should know what a pipeline is. It is the making sure that you have the acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue. Pick one primary channel that truly scales. Add adjacencies later. And that's the right way to scale. And watch for payback period if you are actually servicing a small, medium customer. In enterprise, secure lighthouse customers who become your reference engine. The most important thing is also a path to profitability. We don't expect a startup to be profitable on day one, but what we expect them to understand is the unit economics. And unit economics is to actually make sure that your variable costs are covered, and so a fixed cost at some point in time becomes a break-even point when you actually scale at a big way. So upsell and cross-sell and automation are very important in this. So to put it in perspective, product market fit, people, process, pipeline, and path to profitability are important for scale. What sets Shyam's books apart is a blend of modern startup thinking with timeless Indian wisdom. The Thirukkural, the Gita, the Ramayana, the epics are not decoration here. They serve as a decision tool, and Shyam's shots are exactly what founders need: distilled prompts placed at the end of each chapter that you should act on immediately. The book reinforces the essential that founders sometimes rush past. You should actually think before you actually leap. If there is one takeaway I would actually leave with early stage founders: use the frameworks to think clearly, then act decisively. Clarity before capital. Execution becomes very important before expansion. Depth before height. So start small but think big. Act now. Shyam, congratulations on capturing both the heart and the heart. The hard work that you have actually done is amazing. Like all of you, I am now very eager to hear Dr. Kamakodi's views on the entrepreneurial ecosystem and the significance of Startup Alchemist. Thank you very much.